Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Well. It is Liberation Day. President Trump and his reciprocal tariffs have come into place, setting the world up for probably a freer world trade, a fairer world trade, that's for sure. And we're probably going to get tons of negotiations continuing with the US president. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to look at some of the initiatives and tariff regime that he's put in place. We're going to look at some of the responses from politicians in other countries and, of course, the markets as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Now, before he announced that, of course, we saw the stock market rally ahead of that. We've obviously seen crypto pull back, and not all crypto, but some crypto pull back, particularly the majors. So we're going to check that out and get into a lot of good details as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun there for sure. We're also going to check out, of course, Emmett Farm and see how Emmett Farm is tracking. So it's probably the profile of the big farm on Pulse Chain we are tracking at the moment, performing pretty well so far. Karis, the founder, there doing some pretty incredible things, and so it's going to be fun to see the value there created. So pretty exciting as well. All right, so let's get into it without further ado. If you want to get to the socials, Discord links in the video description, and of course I'll get you the Telegram link to Gem Hunters as well if you want to join that also. So don't get in the chat there as well. Now, big shout out to everybody over in Rumble. You guys are killing it out there, crushing it. I love that community over there, doing a great job. YouTube, you guys have been long-term supporters. So big shout out over there too. And let's get into it without further ado. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, hit the bell, and all that good stuff. So we're going to talk about Emmett later on. Stay tuned for that. But let's get into the results here at the moment on Trump. So Trump unveiled only hours ago, probably about 6 hours ago or so, he unveiled the sweeping tariffs on all imports. So sweeping tariffs on all imports and higher levies on bad actors. So let's check out that. Of course, before we had that, of course, we had the stock market rallying. The Dow Jones was up 0.5%, 235 points to 42,225. S&P 500 was up 0.2%, 38 points to 5,670, and the Nasdaq was up 0.9%, 150 points to 17,600. So it was rallying into this move, right? And of course, let's see where we're going here. We got President Donald Trump said Wednesday the United States will impose reciprocal tariffs of at least 10% on all goods, all imported goods, with high reciprocal rates for some nations that will be equivalent to half of the rate they levy on US exports. And President Trump said, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. The president said reciprocal, that means they do it to us, we do it to them, which is going to help free trade and fair trade. So a lot of people that, liberals out there that talk about a free trade, they've got the biggest barriers, right? That's kind of the irony there. In calculating, the 10% baseline tariff will go into effect on April the 5th. That's a pretty important there, April the 5th there. Well, the higher tariffs will begin on April the 9th. So, the market knows these are coming, so theoretically they should get priced in. In calculating the tariff rate, the other countries charge the US, and of course, Trump included currency manipulation and trade barriers. So actually, non-trade tariff barriers are a big problem, right? So currency manipulation and other non-trade barriers, such as VAT in the EU. EU is one of the worst culprits for these trade barrier wars, right? The European Union. China, which charges 67% of tariffs on US imports, will be among the worst hit with a new levy of 34%. That would be in addition to the 20% tariffs on goods from China, taking the total rate to 54%. Trading partners such as the United Kingdom and Brazil that currently levy a 10% tariff on the US goods will see a 10% levy on their exports to the US under Trump's plan for a 10% minimum baseline tariff on all imported goods. And here is the a schedule for the reciprocal tariffs. You can see China at the top there. Tariffs charged to the US, 67%. The discounted reciprocal tariffs, 34% for China, plus that 20%. European Union, 39%, 20% from the US now. Vietnam, 90%, 46% from the US. You got Taiwan at 64% tariffs charged to the US. And so they're getting slapped with a 32% tariff. Japan's got 46% against the US. The US is responding with 24%. India's got 52%, so pretty high there in India, and they're going to get slapped with a 26% here. Now, remember that Japan and India the two big energy buyers, right? They're particularly big energy buyers, and they're the ones that President Trump had into the Oval Office very early in his presidency, right? So they are going to be they're still getting stacked with tariffs. So it's friend and foe, and even frenemies, frenemies as well, somewhere in the middle, frenemies as well, getting slapped with tariffs. It's pretty fair across the board. South Korea there 50% is getting slapped with a 25%, and so on. So you can see the list goes all the way down. Even Australia here is down here. We've got Australia are at the moment 10%, and they're going to get 10%. So there we go. Some of the worst culprits: Pakistan 58% is going to get 29%. Sri Lanka 88%. They charge the US, so they're going to get spanked with a 44% tariff. So there we go. What's another bad one here? South Africa, 60% tariff. They charge the US, they're going to get 30%. And Cambodia, 90%, 97% tariff. They're going to get 49%. So there's lots of big tariffs here across the board. The move, unveiled at the Rose Garden address, is designed to level the playing field, targeting nations that charge higher duties on US goods, as well as those with non-tariff barriers. The tariffs will impose taxes on goods shipped into the United States and intended to shift global trade dynamics, according to the administration. The president said these measures were aimed at restoring American manufacturing dominance, stating they are essential to counteract what he describes as unfair trade practices. Now, as you guys know, the US has lost about 7 million manufacturing jobs since the mid-70s, and they currently have about 13 million, so used to have about 20 million. And, of course, that's also shrunk the middle class of the United States, right? So, and this was, the Democrats played a huge role, some of the Republicans as well, in a managed decline of the US. Intentionally. A lot of them are ideologically positioned since the 70s, when a lot of our problems came out of the 70s with all these Marxists and globalists. And so this is kind of where we are today. Isn't it incredible 50 years later how important those impacts are? So if you don't think things from today won't affect 50 years from now, just think about what happened 50 years ago, how that's affecting now. So you got to see this generational shift here. So pretty crazy stuff going on. So we will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers, and ultimately more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America's coming back. We're going to come back very strongly. So obviously bring back manufacturing in to the United States. Particularly what we've seen. We've seen a lot of car manufacturing come back to the United States. And of course, we know that AI is coming, new tech's coming, AI, semiconductors from Taiwan. And this is going to usher in a huge age for America, including robotics and rocketry, space flight, and all the rest of it. So telecommunications, the list just goes on. So it's going to be quite the golden age for sure. Short-term pain for medium and long-term gain. The baseline 10% tariffs, which Reuters has reported are due to take effect on Saturday, will impose taxes on goods shipped into the United States and are intended to shift the global trade dynamics. Trump also confirmed that the previously planned 25% tariffs on imported automobiles and auto parts would go into effect at midnight, so it's going in straight away. That's going to be good news for some of the battleground states where they make all the cars. So that's going to be really, really good for them. And that's long life. Get good incomes, raise your family. This is really great for middle upper America there. As well as the tariffs on imported autos, the Trump administration has also implemented a 25% tariff on goods from Mexico and Canada that are not compliant with the US-Mexico Canada agreement and trade accord assigned by Trump in his first term. A 25% tariff on steel and aluminum is effect as well. Now, obviously, this is fundamental because if you want steel and aluminum, it's better to have it at home because you're going to be building in America, part of the golden era of America with Trump. You're going to be building more ships, possibly more shipyards, and of course a big boom in that front as well. But of course, construction all across America is going to be required as well. So you need to steel and aluminum now. It's a big deal. I think this is going to scale very, very big. And we know other things like copper and other minerals and other things like that are going to be a big deal moving forward, including rare earths. So it's a pretty big deal. Trading partners are expected to announce countermeasures, setting the stage for a potential trade war. Now, I think a lot of the countries will capitulate and actually negotiate. So that's probably what we're going to see a lot there. And the Trump's going to get his realignment. Remember, the United States is the big consumer of the world. 2/3 of the United States consumption is consumption, and the U.S. economy is about $27 to $28 trillion in national GDP, making up about 20% of the world's GDP. So it's a pretty powerful, influential there. And of course, it's got pretty high incomes. Everyone's always targeting the United States. So you're going to see he really is holding most of the cards there. US stock futures were lower following the news. We can see that actually the stock futures there at the top. Let's have a look up there, are actually down. So we've got the US 30 is down 2.3% and the US 500 down 3.4%. So we'll see what those actually land at tomorrow when the US market gets to respond to this after rallying into this probably a bit more optimistic. So that's kind of where we are there. Ahead of the reciprocal tariffs announcement, various nations have vowed to retaliate, with some even floating the idea of responding as a collective. Now, this is what a lot of liberal countries will do, the progressives. Remember, the progressives in the world, in the West, are trying to destroy the West. So they're trying to destroy it, which is the irony of that, and introduce a new slave class, right? So they basically allow invasions of the countries. They then stop free speech. They take authoritarian rule. They introduce Marxist and globalist policies, and they just create a slave class, which they're at the top of, right? And they get to smile, or you guys get to face their tyranny, and they even indoctrinate you to love it and to want it, and they indoctrinate your children to love it and want it. So that's the dystopian that these guys have got for us. And so here they're talking about collective against Trump. Now, ahead of that, so we'll see what they do. Many of them will just capitulate, particularly a lot of the allies. Once you start breaking down some allies, you start breaking them all down. China, Japan, and South Korea reportedly agreed to jointly respond to the US. Meanwhile, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, now she's one of the worst people in the world at the moment in terms of destroying the West, said the EU has a strong plan to retaliate against tariffs imposed by Trump, but would prefer to negotiate. Because he is holding most of the cards. So, I mean, they can talk the big talk, but it's better for them to negotiate. Europe says, you got to remember, Germany is in big decline. Germany's trying to take over Europe at the moment, but Germany's made so many mistakes around energy. They shut down the nuclear power stations. They have imported gas from Russia. They're now going back to coal. And these are the people talking about fake climate change, right? We all know climate change is fake. And none of the numbers add up. I've been studying climate change since the early 2000s. It's just an absolute delusion. They manipulate all the IPCC reports, use funny baselines. They've got terrible science, and the rest of it just goes on and on. Europe has not started this conversation. We do not necessarily want to retaliate, but it's necessary. We have a strong plan to retaliate, and we will use it. So we'll see where that lines. And of course, they're good at retaliating against their own people, right? Putting people in for social media posts while they let murderers and rapists run free. And this is the kind of tyranny that they want us to live in. We say no, and thank goodness for Trump coming, right? Thank goodness for Trump. So let's have a look at some of the responses from some of the leaders in the world. We've got Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. So he's a Labor guy, so he's on the Marxist socialist side. Progressives as well. Progressives are really tyrants. They are terrible people. It is the American people who pay the biggest price for these unjustified tariffs. This is why our government will not be seeking to impose reciprocal tariffs. Now, this is the guy that's managing a decline of the Australian economy. Australia should be booming, but these guys are all Marxist idiots. They are low IQ individuals, and I'm meaning that in the actual action sense. These guys are really, really dumb. And it's just hilarious. Trump is going to, if you haven't checked out my video on Trump's master plan, you should check that out, because if you want to know where he's heading with it, that video is golden, right? It's golden. So check that out on the channel, both on Rumble and on YouTube. Very, very important there. We will not join a race to the bottom that leads to higher prices and slower growth. And of course, that's exactly what they're leading that way. So Australia's in big trouble, right? They're doing all the bad globalist Marxist policies there. And it's tyranny. Australia used to be a wonderful country. Man, it was so good. They're just making it decline, right, into second world, third world status. Spain, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. Spain will protect its companies and workers and will continue to be committed to an open world. Another left-wing extreme country also destroying its people. We'll see how that goes. Sweden Prime Minister as well. We don't want growing trade barriers. We don't want a trade war. We want to find our way back to a path to trade and cooperate with the US so that people in other countries can enjoy a better life. Now that there is a better position. Obviously, Sweden is the worst basket case in Europe. They have hand grenade explosions. Islamists have taken over 2 of the main cities. They have like 50 no-go zones. They have rapes and murders and everything else. They've got their own problems, right? So it's a very smart position for them to decide not to go to trade war. Irish Trade Minister, see, these are all left-wing globalist nut jobs destroying their country. Hopefully, Conor McGregor can save their country before it's too late. The EU and Ireland stand ready to find a negotiated solution with the US. Negotiation and dialogue is always the best way forward. That's a better position from them. And of course, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Okay, so she's kind of on the right, conservative. Although I think she's done a mixed job. She's still not going far enough, in my view. We will do everything we can to work towards an agreement with the United States with the goal of avoiding a trade war and would inevitably weaken the West in favor of other global players. From her point of view, obviously Trump has got a master plan. Check out my video on it. I think that will really show you where he's heading with that. There's a lot of detail in there. Now, we got also Manfred here from the European Parliament. Now, remember, the European Parliament hires a lot of bureaucrats that are unelected, and they end up controlling all the Europeans. It's a madness there. To our American friends, today isn't Liberation Day, it's Resentment Day. Donald Trump's tariffs don't defend fair trade. They attack it out of fear and hurt on both sides. Well, that's absolutely ludicrous, right? That's absolutely ludicrous. You can see on the tariffs here that we've got on the tariff board. I've lost it now, but they've all tariffed them, right? So that is an insane statement. Actually, Trump is bringing fair trade as well. Not only is he benefiting restructuring the United States for the golden age, but he's also trying to tear down the trade barriers and actually move towards free and fair trade. It's ironic that the European Union, which is the opposite of that, so they got big trade barriers up and their VAT and all that sort of stuff. How ironic this statement is. These guys are just absolutely deluded. It's like they turn the truth into a lie and the lie into truth, and you've got to deal with that. It becomes a psychological nightmare, and these guys are just hilarious. Donald Trump's tariffs don't defend fair trade; they attack it out of fear. No, that's doing the opposite. It's the absolute opposite. These guys are the ones with the high tariffs, so it's just crazy. Europe stands united, ready to defend its interest and open to firm talks. Well, they're going to be doing a lot of talks, and they're going to be capitulating a lot of stuff, and things are going to be realigned because the US is the top dog. All right, so that's kind of where we are there. And we've got also Wall Street. So we've got the financial reaction to this. And we've got a couple of comments around this too, which is pretty cool. So we've got Lenny LaRocca here. Now, you've got to remember, investing.com, which I'm reading some of these summaries of, is actually quite left-wing. So it's sort of a Democrat leading. So just remember, you've got to be very careful when you read some of these things. So they'll actually pick just all the Democrat left-leaning kind of people to comment. So take that note in kind. We've got Lenny LaRocca here, automotive leader here. KPMG US. So there it gives you enough of all you need to know. US automakers are looking at steps they can take in the short term to mitigate tariffs, such as working with suppliers on any items that can be moved to the US quickly without significant investment. But massive long-term investment decisions require more time and certainty. The current US, Trump's got automakers coming into his White House all the time. They've got a big plan. It's all being run pretty well. The current US automaker's playbook is not enough, and they are facing a watershed moment. It's an opportunity for automakers to do different things, lean into emerging technologies like AI across their business. Well, this is exactly what Trump's doing. So Trump's bringing in the automakers. He's saying, what are you guys going to invest in? I'm putting these tariffs up. You build. And of course, you use all the latest technology. I'm bringing in AI as well. I'm bringing in semiconductors. I'm bringing everything else you possibly need, the steel, aluminum. It's all coming. So you guys just get on with it. Explore and decide on alliances faster, speed up vehicle production cycle time. So we already know at the moment, of course, that Trump already has massive investment already. It's just mind-boggling how successful he's been within only about 2 months, with about $3.5 trillion of investment already committed to the US economy. Imagine what he can do in 4 years. The golden age of America is going to be absolutely impressive. He's got countries coming into the United States. He's got the UAE coming in with 1.4 trillion. He's got Saudi Arabia coming with 600 billion. He's got Hyundai, one of the big automakers, coming with 20 billion. It's going to be absolutely incredible. He's got Nvidia coming in with over 100 billion. Apple with 500 billion in AI and technology like that. He's got SoftBank, OpenAI coming with 100 billion. I mean, it's incredible the amount of stuff that Trump is bringing on. It is game changer. So these tariffs are going to allow a lot of manufacturing coming into the US. It's going to be epic, guys. And if you're in the United States, you're going to absolutely love it. I mean, it's a short-term pain for some massive game. And we got Taiwan Semiconductor, 100 billion. Johnson & Johnson, 55 billion. CMA Group is 20 billion. We got Eli there with 227 billion. We got Merck with 1 billion and GE Aerospace with 1 billion as well. So we're going to get technology developments on every category you can imagine booming in the United States. I mean, these guys are coming into the White House nonstop, and he's making deals in all these different sectors. It's going to be crazy how wealthy and successful America's going to be. And that's going to lift the whole world ultimately. So it's going to be pretty cool. We got David McCall here from United Steelworkers. We must ensure our trade policy targets cheaters rather than the trusted economic allies like Canada. We should be working to build relationships, not barriers, with partners who have proven their commitment to joining us in tackling global overcapacity. The administration must also take steps to prevent companies from using tariffs as an excuse to price gouge customers. This is how you sabotage the world's economic engine while claiming to supercharge it. Exactly not the case there, because we're going to get free and fair trade when with tariffs and non-tariffs come down, and people will really have to compete on their competitive advantage and their competition, right? So it's going to be actually really good for trade overall. So pretty cool, and particularly for the America is going to be able to build back its manufacturing and, of course, all its new tech sectors as well. It's going to be pretty exciting. And of course, they're the big consumer. So once they get wealthier, they're going to go around and buy more goods from overseas and so on. So you see how that plays out. It's a seismic day for global trade. Trump is blowing up the post-war system that made the US and the world more prosperous. Opposite. He's doing the opposite. So globalists, this is a typical globalist line. They're the ones that are destroying the West. They're the ones that are just making our economies weaker and decline. Look around all the West. They're in decline, and they're being intentionally put that way. And Trump is actually reversing. He's lowering tariff barriers. He's actually moving to fair trade, because if people move their tariffs down, then he's going to move their tariff down, right? It's negotiated. It's just a no-brainer there. So this is the sort of lies that you're going to see in the media there. Tariffs are taxes, plain and simple, and American consumers will bear the brunt. Well, a lot of the tariffs won't actually take that much impact, right? Because we saw in the first time when we did steel and aluminium, that because of so much dumping and price manipulation going on by producers in China and India and other places, there was nothing was felt in that sector. So a lot of the big items are going to actually not be affected very hard. Now we got the reality is stark. These tariffs will push prices higher on thousands of everyday goods, from foes to foods, and will fuel inflation at a time when it's already uncomfortably persistent. Now, obviously, we're going to see a lot of production increase in the United States, and so that's going to help, lift incomes as well. So these tariffs, we've got Mike Horse here from the UK Society of Motor Manufacturing. So he says these tariffs cannot be absorbed by manufacturers, thus hitting US consumers who may face additional costs and a reduced choice of iconic British brands, while UK producers may have a review output in the face of constrained demand. So we've got different ones here. There's a few others here as well that are all being selected here by investing.com, but that gives you a little bit of a taste of some of the ones that are very unhappy about all this. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting, and the US is going to actually help free trade as well as become rich and prosperous at the same time, eventually, of course, ultimately lifting the whole world economy. And you got to remember that a lot of these globalists that are complaining are the ones that put these barriers in place, the ones that are destroying the West. And of course, they're actually going to benefit from Trump's actions. So short-term pain for medium to long-term gain. That's pretty much it. Now that's going to lead us into crypto. So I hope you guys are enjoying it there. Big shout out to everybody over in Rumble. We've got about 60 people watching in Rumble at the moment. So big shout out to you guys. Make sure you smash the follow button. And of course, hit the like button there and repost the channel as well. Repost the videos. We're looking to become pretty much a great big player on crypto in Rumble. So big shout out over there. And really loving the platform over there. I love freedom. I love America. And of course, I love, that's going to benefit my country. I live in New Zealand. We were in a lot of trouble here. We've got a lot of crazy people trying to put apartheid in our country, trying to put Marxism in our country, globalism in our country, trying to replace our people. It's a pretty horrific place where it's all happened within a couple of years. We got a Labour government in, and all hell broke loose. Oh my gosh. And we've gone from being one of the golden countries in the world into decline. We're in decline. So wish us luck. And that's why I'm so excited about Trump getting in, because I know he's the only one that can help save the West. And it's going to be very important, not only in his presidency, but man, if he can get a third term, that'd be golden. And of course, if someone else of his caliber can get in also, then that's going to be really good too. So what have we got with Trump, right? We've just to backtrack. We've got the former liberals that got closed out of the Democrat Party. Some might call them moderates now, have aligned with the conservatives, right, and taken the middle ground. And so Trump won the popular vote there. And of course, people could see the madness, absolute madness that progressives and Democrats were doing to the United States and to the rest of the world. You know, you got people in the UK, people in Europe getting arrested for social media posts where they let the murderers and rapists out. They let the country get invaded with a lot of army-aged people that have got bad intentions. I mean, it's just pretty bad stuff. So Trump is really going to bring the light back into the West and all the greatness that we had, right? So it's going to be pretty crazy to see all that happen as well. Now we've got Bitcoin at the moment at $82,800. It is down 2.9% on the reaction there, and Bitcoin dominance has gone up. Bitcoin dominance gone up. My goodness, you remember that we had altcoin season when Bitcoin dominance hit 70%. We've had a lot of structural changes in technological advancements in crypto. You think of bridges, cross chain technologies, dexes and farms and all sorts of things like that since 21. And look, here we are heading back up towards 70%. I was a little bit in doubt that we might get that high to 70%, but hey, look, we're creeping at the moment. I'm still not 100% sure we'll get there before we get to altcoin season. But man, 61%, it's got to be getting pretty close. So I'm actually pretty bullish about where crypto will be. And one has got to argue that a lot of the stuff is going to be priced in. That being said, this week could be volatile with the implementations of the tariffs, but in particular, we've got more economic news coming, moving ahead, right? So that's probably something to take into account as well. But here we are, 82,789. We are expecting a lot of money to come into crypto in the second and third quarters. So we could see a big reversal here. At the moment, ETH hit pretty hard, down 6.17%, down at $793. We've got XRP down 5.4% at $2.02. We've got Solana down 6.28%, down at $119. ADA is down 5.61%. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's have a bigger view of this. And of course, you can see there's some crazy stuff going there. And of course, we've got BNB down 3.5%, $589. Tron down 1.7% at 23 cents. So it was pretty big pullback there. Litecoin is down 3.6%, and Suchain down 5.5%. So those are kind of your leaders there at the moment, down at the moment. Now, Tron, of course, has been one of the best performers in the top 10. So let's have a look at that too. So let's get back into our normal stoots there and check that out. So here we are. We've got crypto at the moment, 2.77 trillion. And like I said to you, you watch this number. This is going to be worth tens of trillions of dollars in crypto if we start converging towards gold, right? So I'm excited about that. Hope you are too. Now we're down 4.4% today, just a down day. And of course, we got Bitcoin at the moment is down. 3% for the day there. Now, just looking at the top ranks, we've got Bitcoin at number 1, Ethereum at number 2, XRP at number 4, we've got BNB at number 5, Solana at number 6, we've got Dogecoin at number 8, Cardano at number 9, and then Tron, which has been the best performer this week, is at number 10. And of course, you knew that Tether minted another $1 billion of USDT. And of course, dominating, has been dominating up to a certain point, the stable coins there as well. Justin Sun, of course, speaking at the recent blockchain event. Now, that's still up 1.9% for the week, whereas everything else is down. The worst performer in the top 10 is Dogecoin, down 15.3%, followed by Solana, down 11.5% there. So pretty hit pretty hard there. Now, we've got a few other tokens doing pretty well in the top 100. So let's have a quick look at those. We've got EOS up 38% for the week, 15% for the last 24 hours. We've got Ton Chain there for Telegram. That is up 7% for the week, but down 6% today. And then we got Tron as the third best performer, up 1.9% in the top 100, down 1.8% today. So that's kind of where we are there. Now, I just wanted to look down at the worst performers. Let's go to the worst performers in the last week. And we can see Jupiter is the worst out of the top 100, down 28%. Movement there is down 25%. Now, Movement is actually part of the Trump crypto investment vehicle, right? So that is down 25%, and Immutable there down 24% at the moment. What else have we got? I just wanted to find good old Pi Network, which we've been following a little bit, haven't we? So let's have a quick check of that. Just trying to find that down here somewhere. I'm sure it's down here. Let's see. Maybe it's had a little bit of a recovery. I don't know. Let's see. We got Bitcoin. Hopefully I haven't passed it by. It looks like I passed it by, which is just typical, isn't it? Let's change this around a bit, and let's switch that back, and let's go down this way instead. Let's have a look at for Pi Network, down at 65 cents. So there we go at number 31. Let's see if they can fix up all their troubles. They had a very successful Pi Fest, which ran from the 14th to the 21st of March. But the price has been sliding over $1 since then, $1.05, $1.06 down, and now at 65 cents. Now, the other thing, of course, is they've got a horrific KYC process. It's horrific. It's horrific, and they've obviously got a lot of people around the world that are mining Pi for the last 6 years, and everybody is waiting for their coins still. The majority waiting for their coins. It is pretty crazy. So they've got a lot of issues there. They're very bad at communication. They've got a very bad approach. We'll see what they can do. They're obviously huge, though. That's the one thing that's the saving grace, right? 60 million miners potentially. I don't know how many are active, maybe 10 to 20 million are active. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Certainly one to keep track of because they came in pretty quick at the number 11. That being said, the market cap's a little bit fake because they're including a lot of the lock coins, which makes no sense, right? So that would be way down, further down anyway. If they did, they'd lose about 70% of their coins would go out, or 80%. So that would reduce their market cap dramatically. So we'll see where they head there. So that is the cryptos. Let's have a look at Bitcoin on the chart. So as we say, we got Liberation Day. Hey, we got a nice little flagpole for Trump 47. Yeah. All right. So we got that. And we got the Bitcoin price was at 88,500. My goodness. And we're down. We went down all the way down to 82,283. We're currently just off the bottom there at the moment of this chart. And of course, the 200-day moving average is at 85,400. We're now about $2,000, $3,000 below that, something like that. And so, yeah, we've got a bit of work to do. We also got the 50-day at 87,641. Now, as you guys know, if the yellow line, that's the 50-day, crosses over below the orange line, we got a death cross, and we don't want that because that increases the probability that we're going to have a big down move down. And of course, that where it could bring in some of those lower numbers like 73 down to 63K. We could get to there, and we don't really want that. Now, I still think we're in this bull market cycle for the big move. This is really big of a shakeout. We have a special event, of course, which is Trump's tariffs. We've had that in the chart for a while now, priced in at least since February the 24th. And so we're still expecting, a rally out the other side in in the second quarter of the year. So running through to June. I'll just do the time frame, but that's the time frame. So let's see what happens here. We're probably going to be a bit choppy in the zone, right? Let's do some little paper here. So it's probably going to be a little choppy in here. So probably a little bit choppy in there, just as these tariffs take place, and we've got more economic news coming out. But then up and to the right to the other side. Now we only got a 35% chance of recession there from Morgan Stanley. So still got 2/3 that we're not going to have one, and if we do have one, it could be a soft one at that, and that might also force the Federal Reserve to print money and lower interest rates, and that all goes into risk caskets, right? Because if you lower interest rates, then you got to take risks to get high yields, and if you're printing more money, there's more money to go and buy them, right? So it's just a win-win from that point of view. All right, so that's kind of where we are there on Bitcoin. So getting pretty close. Let's see what happens the next few days. And of course, arguably, a lot of it's priced in. The market knows this information now. So we'll see what they do. Tomorrow's probably going to be volatile. We may get a softer reaction. Even though the futures is like down 3% or so on the stocks, it might end up being a bit softer. We shall see. We got Pulse at the moment on day 691. Can you believe it? Is sitting at quadruple 0217. It's bucking the trend. It's actually up. So the majors in crypto are down, but Pulse Chain is up 5%, and it is sitting at 22% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment. And PulseX is at quadruple 019, up 4%. That is doing pretty well. And the buy and burn 1.36 trillion tokens, pretty good. Incentive token $1.20 is up 6.6%, so really nice there. And the total supply 55 million. And as you guys know, the inflation has been cut by 20x, so it's only 5% of what it used to be. But also that means that the farms have gone down about a couple $100 million, about $200 million in value, which means there's thinner liquidity, which means the prices can go up and down much easier as well. Now, the other big thing, of course, we had a bit of a boo because Ravi Wallet, it pulled its support for Pulse Chain. Now, there's two different reasons I've seen out there for that. One is because they're worried about the MakerDAO and the exploiter there, and of course the troubles with that. Number two, they were worried about DBank not supporting, reducing its data support, and therefore data history and support for the Pulse Chain blockchain. So I've seen those two different reasons out there for that. In any case, they pulled it, boo. But we have two alternatives. We have, in first instance, the gold-plated internet money wallet, and I put a post out on X about that today. And then secondly, we also have Pulse Wallet, which is a fork of Rabby wallet. It's got enhancements there for privacy, but doesn't have, I don't think, all the updates that Rabby has had recently. But they've got their own plans there, and you got to do a bit more security details on that too. Of course, they're different teams, right? So yeah, it's ticking away there. So just take care with that one. But those are two native solutions to Pulse Chain, and of course there are other non-native solutions for wallets to Pulse Chain as well. And we're probably going to do a video on those as well, the non-native ones. But definitely check that out. Hex at the moment is at half a penny, up 0.6%. What a bargain price at the moment Hex is at the moment, and of course 1/1500th of a penny on Ethereum. The combined price of EHEX and PX is at 6600th of a penny. And of course, I think that's a pretty damn good deal right now. And of course, Pulse Chain coming off the bottom. And let's have a look at the gas prices. 3.7 million beats, 3 cents for a PulseX swap at the moment. So it's pretty good value. And of course, the validators there, 48,800. That's gone up. That number's gone up as well. Now, you can buy 32 million Pulse and become a validator today by yourself. But you can. There's also a number of different offerings on Pulse Chain to stake, to participate in validating in other ways like NFTs, staking Pulse, getting a VPulse and other things. There's lots of other projects there. UpX as well, I think, is another one. And we might cover a video on all those because it'd be pretty fun to do, right? Pretty fun to do there. All right, so let's go to the bridge. This is the drum roll. Okay, so we had 84 million yesterday. We're down at 82.5. So it looks like we're down about 1.5 million. But the good news is that the DAI is the same amount. So the DAI is still 24.15 million. I think USDC looks pretty similar. USD Tether looks pretty similar from memory. Obviously, ETH is down today. Bitcoin is down. And EHEX, I think, is pretty flat, is it? From yesterday, maybe down slightly yesterday. Coasters looking the same, 9.2 million. Not bad. And of course, let's have a look at the other native stable coins on Pulse Chain. We've got 3 liquidity forks, plus we've got 4 now, but we've got 3 that are on here. We've got USDL, PXDC, and HEXDC, and they're all looking pretty good, actually. They're actually above PEG, USDL, and PXDC. They're both liquidity forks with Pulse and PulseX as collateral. And then we've got HEXDC there is just under PEG, and that's got Hex there. And of course, Hex price underperforming a bit at the moment. And then we've got Coast sitting just below $1 PEG there. And Coast is a fiat-backed currency, right? So we've got 3 liquidity forks in the Coast. We do have a 4th liquidity fork, Ink Printer, I think it is, from was it Abdul? And of course, you guys know the big one we're looking forward to is we've got the 3rd model coming of stable coins. That's algorithmic, and that's PUSD ALGO. And if you want to get a 19% bonus for that, get in on that one. That link is in the video description. I think we're going to get some more news about that. So definitely check out that. That's pretty cool. And of course, we've got the Signum Oracle launching on the 11th of April, and that is ticking away as well. That's like 8 days away. And then, of course, that's a prerequisite for PUSD ALGO launching, although we do have Fetch Oracle out there too, but it doesn't have a random number generator, so that's going to be pretty cool. Now, let's have a look at the price chart. Well, it looks like my price chart looks pretty accurate because so far everything's ticked off, thank goodness. So we had a rally all the way to 2040. After we had that big capitulation, we got all the way down on Pulse Chain to quadruple 016. And then we had a rally up here. We got to 2040, tick on that one. And then we wanted to hit the 50 on RSI. We ticked that, so tick on that one. And then we came back down. We had a little resistance here. We knew it was going to come back a little bit, support and bounce. And we bounced real nice. We got all the way up before the reciprocal tariffs came out. We got all the way up to quadruple 0238. So that was really good. So we ticked that off too. And we got another tick for that. We had a little pullback here, obviously, with the markets shaking out after reciprocal tariffs down to 2140. We bounced from 2100. So we're doing very well with the target here. Let's see where we go. Next target, you can see it on the line there. I realized I just got the wrong number on there, actually. I must have missed a 0 on that. I think it was 2900. Let me have a look here. 2900. I think it's 29. Double check that. Yeah, 2900. So next target's 2900. So let's see if we can zigzag out of this Armageddon that we're on Pulse Chain. And let's see how we go. So looking on the daily, that's kind of the daily there. And we're coming off the bottom, right? Coming off the bottom on the daily. And we hit the 4 hourly pretty nicely. So that's looking really good, this chart. So let's see. It's going to be a volatile week, but you might be quite surprised. I'm still expecting a big rally out of this market. Now, looking at the total volumes, we're at 22.9 million at the moment in Pulse Chain. So on the low side, that's definitely on the low side. We've got 282,000 transactions. That's also a bit lower than what we've had recently by about 100,000. Some of the best performers at the moment. Let's have a look on the 24-hour. We've got Stream that's launched 3 hours ago. So we've got lots of new tokens that typically you come off pump tires and launch. So we've got Stream there up 3 hours, up that's doing pretty well, up 99%. We've got these two Pulse Chain pump tire versions of USD Tether and USDC. They're both pumping at the moment, up 58, 53%. Remember, which is part of the Finvestor printer, is a printer token. So you hold these tokens, you get like Finvestor and Pulse and other tokens like that. There's a whole suite of these ones there. And if you haven't joined our Gem Hunters, I really encourage you to join. We've got lots of things coming up in Gem Hunters. So let me just get the link to that. Maybe Brian or Wookie can post it over on Rumble. Big shout out over on Rumble there. So we're heading up to our next target before we start really promoting this hardcore. We're kind of stepping up in phases. So definitely join up to that. So let me type this in the chats here. And now I'm going to get into the comments because I've realized I haven't really been talking about comments today. So Gem Hunters, and definitely join. This is going to be focused on Pulse Chain, but also multi-chain opportunities. So definitely join up to this today. And it's easy to do. Just join up and participate. And of course, if you want to get a link, you just type /link, and you can get your own referral code and help bring people in to Gem Hunters. So we're going to be looking to match up project teams and crypto enthusiasts together and make really good protocols succeed really well. So it's bringing those two sides of the market together, and we'll probably also have some collabs and things like that with other influencers out there as well. So definitely join up to Gem Hunters today. We've got some founders in there already. We've got some influencers in there already. So definitely join up today. That's going to be a real matchmaker. We think it's a real big deal for Pulse Chain, and of course we'll be covering other opportunities on other chains as well. But definitely worth getting in there on that one. So Gem Hunters, join up today, and a big shout out to MV in there and Wookie, of course, who are both co-founders, are doing a great job in there too. So big shout out to them. All right, so what else we got? FinFi. So I just might add, in Gem Hunters we have a free list of pumping tokens that we're supporting and identified. So definitely check that list out too while you're there. FinFi up 30% there as well. That's been around over a year. We've got Most Wanted there. Another Pump Tires there is up 28%. So Pump Tires doing pretty well. Mnemonics there. Also another one of the Finvestor tokens. So we've got Remember and Mnemonics there. That's up 22%. So doing pretty well. Gas Money, also another Finvestor token there, up 2.5%. What else there? Finvestor is the grandfather of all these tokens. It is up 22% there, $35. So this printer ecosystem, as we call it, Remember, Mnemonics, Gas Money, Finvestor, they're all doing very well. Now you can see a list of those in our Gem Hunters. So definitely join up Gem Hunters, and you can get access to that for free. Definitely join up. We've got more stuff coming down the pipeline. So you want to get in nice and early. There's only the third day we're just starting, and so get in on that one. All right, we got Best Everything there. It's another Pump Tires up 17%. PDC the Greys, one of the best performers on Pulse Chain over time. Definitely had a big pullback there, so good entry on that one, 16%. And of course, what else? Everything. We got Bitcoin here, another meme. There's another Pump Tires from the looks of it, up 16%. Hex, another Pump Tires there as well, up 15% as well. So lots of good ones here. So the UFO is related to PDC. These two are part of the same family. UFO up 13%. What else? So that's kind of the plays there. We've got Mafia token on Pulse Chain. Obviously, we're going to be covering Mafia in full. As you guys know, I am in the family leadership there as the consigliere. A lot of people are ranking up on that. But we did have some sneak peeks about the new Bullet Factory coming up from Cult DeFi. So looking forward to that. It's up 12% at the moment on that one. Kind of cool. And then we have Beast, of course. That's another one, Finvestor one. That's up 11%. I think that's Finvestor, yep. And those are all over 10%. We've even got Gophers up there as well. That's up 10% as well. So good on them. And finally, that's pretty much it. So those are all the leaders at the moment. Over 10%. Not bad. Now, we're going to talk about Emmet, of course. Emmet Farm. We've been following this since it's launched over the last 6 days. And this farm has been performing like a boss. Big shout out to Kairos there, doing a great job with the tokenomics for this farm and really showing his experience and his talent there. And we're looking forward to see where this is going. So still holding up at 82 cents. So bravo. Got to give a clap out for that. Normally with farms, you can, in the past, farms would have a couple good days and then slowly tail off. But no, this has been set up very, very well indeed and performing like a boss. So 82 cents there. We've got the solar supply, 100,532, and the burn at the moment, 834. Remember, this is a 5% tax on the buy and sales and transfers too. And so 4% goes to the single side staking pool. which is very clever. We're going to talk about that. And 1% goes to the burn. And the burn here is looking really good. It's keeping a cap on that total supply. Now, that total supply also includes a lot of tokens held by the team and in smart contracts. So the majority is still held in there. So actually, there's not that much circulating, relatively speaking, in the market, even with the high yields in the farm. So it's pretty cool. And of course, the tactic was to cut emissions from 3,000 down to 300. Very clever move there from Kairos. Now, we've obviously got still some pretty good yields. They're coming down a little bit, but still pretty good. 500% here on Emmet Pulse, and 500 here on Emmet Inc., and 538% here on Emmet Pulse X as well. Now, this will move around with the price of Emmet. Will move around with the price of with Pulse as well, and of course the amount of TVL that's in the pools as well. So just keep an eye on that. Pretty cool. Now, PulseX yesterday had a really high APR, but people have started coming in here and providing liquidity and earning that sweet yield. So it's pretty cool. Now, one of the cool things on this was the Emmet single side staking. It gets paid out in EDI. So it gets paid out in the stable coin. That 4% tax that you get that goes to it goes and rewards their pools here. So you can just sit in here with Emmet and earn EDI, which is very clever. And you can decide, you can keep that stable coin, you can buy more Emmet, and you can compound. There's all sorts of things you can do there as well. So very clever on that one. Now, the other pools, of course, is PulseX. They got PulseX pools here, all the favorites there, still looking pretty good, the yields. And what else? We've got Pump Tires there, 424%. So Pump most tokens, those are very popular Pump Tire tokens, and they're doing pretty well, 424% their yield. Impulse Emmet is at 835%. Impulse, of course, is one of Kairos's projects. It's been around for over a year, so that's doing really good there, 835% on the APR. And this is the latest ones that got launched yesterday, just only maybe within the last 12 hours, and that was Vouch. And Vouch is a pulse chain staking mechanism where you put Pulse in and you get VPulse, and then this has now been added to the farms, and that's pretty cool. So that is looking good. They're 460% and 487%. So there's a whole nother community that can potentially come into the Emmet farm. So very, very cool there. Nexion, of course, is another really cool DApp as well. May end up covering that in the future. That is up 761%. It's got the APR 761%, so that's really good too. So you can see some really good communities and pools in here as well. Now, the DAO vote, there's a lot of DAO votes in at the moment. This is working very successful as well. Helps with bringing new communities in, and there's lots of different proposals in here, and you can see up to 9 proposals there at the moment, including Vox Finance, which is the farm that came out before Emmet Farms, and there's other ones in here as well. I think Finvesta was in there too, so we'll probably see that possibly come in to the mix as well. Then NFTs, of course, you can mint NFTs, only 555 of those, and check that out. That will give you 0 fees too, by the way, in some of the farms that have 1% fee entries. So if you've got one of these, they're only $1 million each, and there's only 555, and they will have a rarity index coming out soon. So wait for that. It's going to be fun too. And it gives you extra points in the airdrop. So if you do join up to Emmet Farms, there is a community airdrop list, and you might get airdrops during the day. And the more you do, the more airdrops you might get. And if you've got NFTs, they add points. So if you've got 3 community points in the Telegram, you got 3 NFTs, that's 6 points, and that gives you more of the airdrop that you might get there as well. And they give airdrops all the time. In fact, the airdrop just came out in the chat there only 8 minutes ago. There was an airdrop. So there we go. 25 Emmets was allocated to those on the list. So pretty cool. All right, so let me get the link to that so you guys can join up to that as well. So join up to Gem Hunters and join up to Emmet Farm there. And let me post that link as well. So Emmet Farm Telegram. Bam. So if you like airdrops, you like farming, or a bit of both, then that's easy to do. And hopefully you guys over on Rumble, our moderators will post those in the chat there. I can see Brian and Wookie have posted the gem hunters, so thanks for that. And that is the Emmet Farm link as well. So big shout out to Kairos. They're doing a great job. He's leading the way with farming at the moment on Pulse Chain, with the tokenomics, with the growth, everything else. So it's really cool. And a better offer that. And I think we're in day 6 or something, day 6 or 7, something like that. I think it's day 6. So kind of cool. All right, let's see where we're going here. We're going to go to our final topic, which is Titan X quickly. I'm not going to go too much into this, but obviously with ETH pulling back, Titan X prices pull back. But let's have a look at the ratio to ETH. That's the main thing we're looking at, right? The ratio to ETH. We're still waiting for Jake Sharp, yeah, the founder, to come out with his omni-chain developments, which he's been building for the last 2.5 months, maybe longer, possibly. But this is where we are, 10.07.400. So we're just sort of sitting around here at the moment, and there's not a lot of money coming in. You can see the volume is pretty low, which is typically a sign that we'll probably get a reversal at some stage and eventually start heading towards that V3 wave, and of course omni-chain. And I don't know what he's going to do with the buy and burn. Let's see what he does, because there are a couple of different arguments. There's buy and burn plus volume, as opposed to the low ratio at the moment. There's an argument about the low ratio at the moment turning on, because you're burning at a lower ratio to ETH. So we'll see what he does there with that. And of course, also the other buy and burns, Dragon X is turned off. Hyper and Hydra turned off. Hydra has had a good day. The ratio has started closing back up to 0.1, and that's up 4.8%. So that's really good there. It was really a good discount, like an opportunity right in front. It was down to 0.05 ratio, now 0.09. So that was a no-brainer there. Lotus up 30%. What else is doing pretty well today? Eden is up 10% there. And that's pretty much it. And of course, Uranus has been performing pretty well, although it's just dropped below 2x on X28. So we'll see where that goes. Upcoming for Titanx, crypto Bitcoin Genie. That's probably about 2 months away with audits and testing. But the tokenomics white paper is now out, so I have to cover that. Haven't yet covered it, but you can read it there on Titanx Hub. And we're waiting for Taurus as well to come out from Crypto Graphics, another big influencer out there. So big shout out there. That's kind of where we are. So I'll post the link to that too. And that is Titan Hub if you guys want to check out all the Titanx ones there on Ethereum. That is not on Polestream, that's on Ethereum, but moving to base chain. And we got to see that. So kind of cool. That is the link there, the Titanx Hub. Big shout out to Mike Dean, who runs that platform. Pretty awesome, right? All right, so that is it. So, President Trump and Liberation Day is here. And of course, all the liberals out there are all up in arms. all the ones with trade barriers are all up in arms because we want free trade. That's why we've got our trade barriers and our non-trade tariff barriers. That's why we manipulate our exchange rates. That's why we dump steel and aluminium on the markets. We want free trade. Yeah. We're the ones. Isn't it an upside down world sometimes? Pretty crazy. But Trump is pulling them down. He's going to pull them down. And some of them will stay up, of course, because people, they got big investments in them. And therefore Trump's going to that's going to actually facilitate building, more aluminum and stuff. Now, obviously, there's always surplus spare capacity. That's what you can ramp up in the short term when you've got higher tariffs that allow you to do that in the US. And then, of course, you want to build new factories as well. And they're going to rush those through too, right? They're going to rush those through too. So it's going to be boom time across the board. It's not just classic manufacturing. It's the new tech. The new tech is coming in. AI, robotics, advanced quantum, so-called quantum chips. If you believe that they actually got something even close to quantum, then we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. So, yeah, pretty crazy times, and for sure. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next show. I'll do another show later on today. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you then. And so don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, both on Rumble and on YouTube. And of course, check out our Discord links in the video description. Join our Discord today, and Gem Hunters, of course, as well. Join that too. So there's a link to Gem Hunters there, right in the chat there. Look forward to catching up with you all there. All right, take care for now, and I'll catch you next one. Bye for now.